Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Purple Penny coin and banknote news video. My name's Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine. So the Purple Penny's been here for almost 5 years now. We're in a small shop in the northern suburbs of Adelaide, about 15 minutes from the centre of Adelaide. We buy, sell and trade coins, banknotes and collectibles online and via our shop. We're also resellers for the Royal Australian Mint, so we get new Royal Australian Mint product. And we've been doing these videos for a few years now. We try to do them every week on a Monday, time and travel allowing. Thank you everyone for watching today. It's great to see everyone joining in, and it's great to have some regulars here. So we'll just say hello to a few people. Hello Mike, Paul, Charles, Greg, Peter, John, Ogie, another Peter, Chris, Pal, Adam, Daryl, Cam, another Peter, Gloria, Catherine, and Debbie. Thank you everyone. Hello Sue, how are you? Catherine is of course my wife, and she's the boss here, and she's out there taking care of the mailing for today while I goof off in here. Now, before we get started, I will just like to tell you a little story about a gentleman who came in last Thursday, and he had some $2 coins to sell and a few rolls. He was keen to sell them at a little bit above face value, otherwise he was going to go put them in the bank. And he had some donation dollar rolls. Donation dollars were minted in 2020 and 2021. And we've got a little policy here in the shop where we don't buy and sell donation dollars. Whenever we do get one, we sell them and donate the whole lot to charity, because of course that's what the donation dollars are intended for. And I told him that, said we wouldn't buy the donation dollars. So we worked out a deal, and he very kindly at the end said, have a donation dollar roll. So he gave us one of his donation dollar rolls, which was very kind of him. He was very understanding, and I think it says a lot about the collector community that most people are understanding about this sort of thing. So we've decided to auction it, and we're going to donate all the proceeds to See Differently, who are the Royal Society for the Blind. They, amongst other things, raise guide dogs for vision impaired people, and of course we help look after those dogs. We've been doing that for several years, so we thought we would donate all the proceeds from that auction to them, and we'll match whatever the auction result is. So you can head over to our Facebook page, and the post is sticky to our Facebook page, and if you want to bid on that, please do feel free to do that. I think it's up to about $500. Thank you to the generous person who has bid it up to that much money. I was a little bit stunned by that, but if you feel like bidding a little bit higher, then please feel free, and we will donate all of that, plus we'll match whatever the winning bid is, and donate all of that to the See Differently by the Royal Society for the Blind. Right, let's jump into the news. What's been going on this week? First up, 35th anniversary sets. Thank you to Peter Andrews for supplying me with some data and information and a graph this morning, or a graph depending on what part of Australia you come from. So we'll just have a look at that. So Peter told me two things. He said three things actually. Firstly, that the price is ever so slowly dropping. Well, you can see that at the end of the graph there, that it has dropped away a little bit. Second, he said that the volume of sales is dropping. He said there was only, apart from one sale, there was only 40 sets that sold on eBay in the past 7 days. And the other thing he mentioned, that there was actually one sale on eBay for 50 sets in one sale for $17,000. So someone has bought 50 sets for $17,000, which works out to be $340 a set after you take out eBay fees. Person would have ended up with something like $295 to $300 in their pocket for that. So that price continues to soften. I will just mention quickly, the EQL ballot is still, the orders for that are still proceeding. I know a few people are annoyed about how long that's taking, but I would just invite them to consider how many thousands of sets the Mint made available this way, and they don't have unlimited resources. Catherine knows as well as anyone that you can only package up and send out so many sets in a day, and if there were 3,000 or 4,000 sets, I suspect the Mint is going to take a few weeks to process those. I do understand that they are sending out update emails, just keeping people up to date on where their orders are. I'm sure that they will get them all to you in good time. Now, there was a newspaper story this week about Joel Candia from the History of Money. He managed to get himself in the news again. He bought a pie at a service station, a pie or a poi, depending on what part of Australia you come from, and received a $2 coronation in his change. Now, none of the information that he actually gave to the journalist who wrote the article was wrong. It was pretty much spot on. He said that, circulated coins are worth about $40 and uncirculated ones are worth $110, which is all quite correct. But the newspaper headline was as hysterical as ever, where I think the headline went somewhere along the lines that man receives coin in change worth small fortune. Now, $110 is not a small fortune, and of course, once it is in change, it is really only worth $40. And interestingly, we sell very low grade coins here in the shop for about $20 or $25. If you do come into the shop, have a look in the $2 counter, and you might see some cheaper ones in there. Right, we'll just say a few more hellos to people here. Lots of watchers today. Hello, Finita, Leona, Ray, Leah, Bevan, Brett, Phil, Joseph, Michelle, and Tanya, and Daryl. How you going? Peter says $110 is a very small fortune. Well, I think at what point does an amount of money stop being a fortune and just be an amount of money? And I don't think $110 is a fortune in anyone's eyes. Maybe if you're five, but us as adults, we know how little $110 gets us these days. Now, MSN had a really interesting article this week about buying gold coins, and this is really an investment related article. Don't take anything I say here as investment advice, but they did suggest some reasons about why you should add 1 ounce gold coins to your investments, and they listed off the reasons there. One of the most commonly held things about gold is that it is safe to hold, that it holds its value long term. So they're saying to us that if we wanted to have some safety in our investment portfolio, then you could buy some gold. There are some tax advantages to it. The advantages that they listed off aren't applicable here in Australia, but there are some advantages here in Australia. Gold doesn't give you any income. You only realise the profit when you sell it. So, if you sold it when you were retired and you're not earning any money, you could get a tax advantage that way. It's a hedge against inflation. What does that mean? It means that $1,000 worth of gold under your mattress is likely to be worth more in 10 years' time versus $1,000 in cash, so you're not losing money against inflation. If you think you know better than everyone else, you could try and play on collectible values with gold coins, so not only buying gold coins that go up with the gold price, but also perhaps go up with because they're collectible. Gold is highly liquid. What does liquid mean? It means that it's easy to sell, and it is easy to sell. If you have some gold, you can just bring it into a gold or bullion dealer. Many jewelers buy gold, we buy gold, coin dealers buy gold. It is easy to get rid of, and it is easy to store. It is quite small and doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So that's the reasons that MSN gave us for buying gold. Now, this is a great story, and I'm going to call this probably the best find in change that I've ever heard of. A charity shop in the UK received a bag of what we would call holiday money as a donation, and the person who's sorting out the coins used to work in a bank, and he found a little silver coin in there, and you can see a picture of the silver coin there. Thought it looked a bit odd and did some research on it and realised that it was an Australian 1813 dump, and a dump is, if you're wondering what a dump is, it's a plug that is pressed out of another coin. And in Australia in the early 1800s, Governor Macquarie decided to buy about 30,000 Spanish silver dollars, and then had a convict by the name of William Henshaw actually engrave some dies, and they took those 30,000 Spanish silver dollars and they punched a ring out of the middle, they punched a coin out of the middle, and they stamped that coin and the ring with a name and a denomination. They valued the Spanish dollar with a hole in it at 5 shillings, which was the going rate for a Spanish dollar without a hole in it. And then they valued the dump, or the little coin that they produced in the middle, at 15 pence. Now, why did they do that? That was because they wanted those coins to stay in the colony of New South Wales. They didn't want them to leave. The coins were not tradable outside of the colony of New South Wales, so the theory was that those coins would stay here in the colony, and there was a real shortage of coins in the colony at that point. The ring around the outside, of course, is known as the holy dollar, and the middle part there is called the dump. The dump that these people found at the charity shop is probably worth $15,000 to $20,000. It's in lovely condition. And thank you to our local coin expert who said that's what he expected that to sell for. So a pretty remarkable find in a bag of scrap coins. Certainly a lot better than what we have found. So the next story of the day was some counterfeit banknotes in Singapore, and when I first saw this, I thought you would have to be very game to try and pass counterfeit notes in Singapore. The Singaporean government and legal system is not known for its leniency on crimes, and the story goes that an Indonesian couple travelled to Singapore and tried to cash in a Singapore $10,000 note at the casino for casino chips. The person who took the note realised that it was counterfeit. The note was seized, and the Indonesian couple were held, and they produced another $10,000 note that was counterfeit too, and they told the Singaporean authorities that they were given the two notes in Indonesia as payment for a business transaction. Some raids have happened in Indonesia since that time, and 4 people have been arrested, and 390 of these $10,000 Singapore notes have been found to be fake. How much is 10,000 Singapore dollars? It's about $11,400 here in Australia, so that is a big value note. What do you get punishment for counterfeiting notes? Well, in Singapore, if you counterfeit notes or try to pass counterfeit notes, there's up to a 20-year jail sentence, and in Indonesia it's a 10-year jail sentence. I do find it interesting that Indonesian authorities cooperated with the Singaporean authorities to help eliminate that counterfeiting ring. Right, so topic of the day is, I thought we would just talk about what goes on here in the shop in terms of buying and selling. Obviously we buy and sell coins, banknotes and collectibles, and that's how we make our money. We're a Royal Australian Mint distributor, so we do get new release product from the Royal Australian Mint at a discount, and we sell that at retail price, but the vast majority of what we do is buying and selling coins and banknotes and collectibles over the counter and from people around the country. And we get a lot of questions, and you'd be surprised how many times we get the same questions from people, which is fine because the people haven't sold things to us before. People have common questions, so I thought today, just in the interest of disclosure, and also because we have been getting a few comments in on these videos over the last month or so about people wanting to sell things, just to clear up how we do things here and why we do things. So I'll just pop up this slide here. So firstly, and this is the first thing that everyone asks when they ring us, is do we buy coins and banknotes? And the answer is of course yes. That's where we get most of what we do here. So how much is most? Royal Australian Mint product counts for about 10 to 15% of our turnover, and the rest of the stuff is what we buy and sell over the counter or from collectors around the country. So do we buy and sell all coins and banknotes? And the answer to that is no, we don't. Probably about, I would say, 2/3 of the time that we get people in here, they just have what we call money box coins. So 20-cent pieces, 50-cent pieces, dollar coins, $2 coins. They've emptied out their money box and perhaps done a little bit of research online and found a HH $2 coin article, or found a wavy baseline 20-cent article, or seen eBay sales listings for Parks dollars for $2,000 and that sort of stuff. And they bring in their decimal coins in here and want to know if we'll buy it. And the answer to that is no, we won't buy it. We don't buy decimal coins out of change. We do. If people come in and put them on the counter, we look through them with them and we point out what we're looking at, but we don't buy decimal coins out of change. Similarly, with banknotes, we are reasonably selective about what we buy with banknotes. That's because most banknotes are virtually unsaleable. So poor condition, obsolete banknotes that are very common, such as from African countries or from Asian countries, are virtually impossible to sell. High denomination Australian paper decimal notes, so hundreds and fifties, which are very difficult to sell because of their value, so we often recommend that people go and put those in the bank. And this kind of leads into the next question, which is, should you contact us before coming in? And the answer to that is yes. And the reason for that is that we don't like to waste people's time and have them travelling from all over the state coming in here with stuff that we're not going to buy. And it's not a waste of our time, we just don't want people wasting their time. Often these people travel a long way. You'll often have to wait to see me or Catherine when you do come in here to the shop if we're busy. And I would hate to think of people wasting their time bringing in stuff that we are never going to buy. So we do always encourage people to give us a call, have a chat about what they've got, and we'll commonly ask them to take photos of it and send us through photos on the phone or via email. Now, when we tell people it's not worth bringing it in, we're not doing that because we're not interested, we're doing that because we don't want you to waste your time. The sad reality is that most coins aren't worth anything. Most coins that come in here aren't worth anything. They're coins that we either recommend people spend or stuff that we just buy and sell by the kilo. Right. Do we take appointments? No, we don't take appointments. If you've got something to sell, you just need to come in here when we're open. We're open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday 10 to 4 and Saturday 9 to 1. We're closed public holidays. And it is always worth a call before you come down to check that we are going to be open when you come in. Now, why don't we take appointments? Well, because we've got a shop and anyone can come through the front door. And if we made an appointment for 2 o'clock and there were already people lined up to show us material, then you'd still have to wait. So that's why we don't take appointments. So if you do have a box of coins from grandma or grandpa or mum or dad, or people give you their coins because they think you're a coin collector, and we're not talking collectible coins here, we're talking old pre-decimal coins, pennies, half pennies and stuff like that, do you have to sort them? The answer to that is no. And why is that? It's because the very first thing that we do when we buy a collection is take it out of whatever it's in at the moment. So if it's in 100 plastic bags, it comes out of the plastic bags. If it's in a PVC folder, it comes out of the PVC folder. So if it's already sorted and it's already in a folder, then by all means leave it the way it is. But if it's just a box of loose coins, then just you're quite welcome to leave those the way they are before you bring them in here. Now, that being said, if you're the sort of person that likes sorting things out and you want to do your due diligence so that you know what's in there, then by all means sort it out and bring it in how you like. Now, the next point is a definite no. Do not clean or improve your coins or banknotes or whatever they are before you come in. Just leave them the way they are. Now, why is that? Because unlike some hobbies, coin collectors, banknote collectors don't like their coins and banknotes improved. They like them the way they are. Now, I understand that some collectibles, some collectible areas, that isn't the case, but in coins and banknotes, it is the case. So you're better off just leaving them the way they are. Now, the story that we always tell people is that if it's a low value coin and you clean it, you're wasting your time. If it's a high value coin and you clean it, then you are cleaning away value. So just leave your items the way they are. Now, the next one comes as a bit of a shock to some people, but yes, when we buy things, we buy them at less than retail value. And of course we have to, because we have a shop, we have expenses such as rent and power and insurance. Insurance bill got paid today. And of course, Catherine and I draw a small wage and we pay Jared when he's here. So yes, we buy things at less than retail value. We need to make a profit on that. And you know what? It doesn't matter how you sell your coins and banknotes. Someone has to pay. Now, whether that's you selling them yourselves on Facebook, you have to pay in terms of all the work and organisation and trips to the post office and packaging and time and things like that. You pay that way. If you sell via room auction, then you pay usually a commission to the auction house, and the buyer pays a commission to the auction house. If you sell on eBay, you pay a commission to eBay, plus you get to do the work as well. So it doesn't matter how you sell these things, someone pays, whether it be in time or money. And if you sell things to us, then we do buy at a discount to retail price. Is there a firm rule to what discount that is? No. And it's not like American Pickers where you pay half of retail price. It's not like Pawn Stars where you pay half of retail price. We might pay as much as 80 or 85% of retail price for some things. And they're things that perhaps are higher value, they're less work, and they're easy to sell, in which case we pass on the majority of the value to the vendor. Whereas there are other things that I will not buy even for free. I don't want them for free because all they do is take up space and they don't move. So, how much do we pay as a percentage of retail value? It really depends, but in the majority of cases it's between 60 and 80% of retail value for things that come in here, which is much more than people on Facebook would suggest that dealers like us pay. You do often see people on Facebook suggesting that we pay 25 to 40% of retail value, and that's not the case at all, well, for us at least. And I would suggest a lot of the time the people that are suggesting we pay such low amounts are resellers themselves, and they're just looking to get hold of these things themselves rather than have someone bring it into someone like us. Why is it a good thing to bring it in someone like us? Because for a lot of people, collections are a problem that they don't want anymore, and we give you the opportunity to get rid of the whole lot in one go. And if you are selling things yourselves via Facebook or eBay or something, you will find that it is very easy to get rid of the good things quickly, but the common stuff takes a long time to move unless you virtually give it away. Do we buy things other than coins and banknotes? Yes. I'm a bit selective about what we buy, but we do buy badges, medals, medallions, and some ephemera. Military medals, but we do always encourage people to keep their family's military medals. We buy association badges, sports badges. If you come in here and look at the top shelf of the shelves out the front, you see we've got oil tins and all sorts of weird stuff. We're a little bit selective about the bigger stuff these days because we've got no room for it, but you'll often find that people that have tins of old coins usually have tins of old badges and things like that as well, and we always like to look at that. Now, the last one here is a very common question. Do we provide valuations? We do not provide written valuations. If you want to sell something, you are more than welcome to bring it in here, and I'll look at it on the counter, or Catherine will look at it on the counter, and we'll tell you what we'll pay you for it. But we will not provide a written, broken down valuation for things for insurance purposes or probate or whatever. Why? Because they take a long time, and the material needs to be left with us so that we can write proper written descriptions, and I won't do that for two reasons. One is I don't have the time. I just simply do not have the time. Catherine and I already work 6.5 days a week, and I don't have the time to spend hours and hours doing written valuations. And the second is risk. I don't want to hold people's collections here in the shop when we don't own them. We do not allow other people's stuff to be stored here. We do not allow people to leave things here so that we can make offers on it. If you want us to make an offer on something, then we do it over the counter, and we buy it there and then, or it goes home with you. We don't allow other people's stuff to be stored here. There's just too much risk around that. Right, that's it. I don't know if anyone's got any other questions about us buying and selling things. I hope I've covered everything there. I will just say, you know, when you ring us and you tell us you've got some $2 coins and some 20-cent pieces, we really are just, when we say there's no need to bring it in, we're not telling you we're not interested. We're just saying it's not worth your time. You know, and I don't want to lead people astray by thinking that, you know, things they pluck out of change are worth money, because, you know, in almost every case they're not. They're just worth the spending value of the coins. Right, I think that's it. I don't see any questions here. Peter says he once found a World War I 3D aluminium internment camp token in Scrap World coins. Peter, I did too. So that would be my best find that I've ever had in Scrap World coins. I did find it over the counter though. Someone brought in a huge bag of junk and I looked through it. We always do that. We always look through what people bring in, and I found it in their junk and we paid them for it. So unfortunately it wasn't free like the charity shop's dump that I talked about earlier. Hello Petra and Rhodus, thank you for joining in. Right, that's it. Thank you everyone for coming in, for watching. Oh, what I didn't talk about, sorry, just last topic. Royal Australian Mint releases. Yes, they're coming. They're coming. I can't say what they are coming. I understand people are frustrated and they're eager or whatever, but the second we are allowed to say something, we will tell you. We don't keep these things secret because we want to. We keep them secret because we have to. We are obliged to, and it doesn't matter how many times you ask. I'm not, and Catherine's not going to spill the beans on stuff that's going on. As soon as we're allowed to say, it'll be up on our Facebook page. So those of you who come into the shop who want to know, follow our Facebook page. Those of you who are sending us messages through the website or social media, follow the Facebook page. As soon as we're allowed to say something, we will say something. But rest assured, the Mint is doing releases this year, okay? They're not just sitting on nothing at the moment. They're doing things this year. So just be patient, it'll come. Right, Flaneur says, are the RAM premiums getting even more eye-watering? No. I don't think so. The $2 set premium over retail value is, you know, $100. If you sell it through eBay, you lose 15% of that, so not a big amount. The Perth Mint Charles 1 ounce silver coins that were released a few weeks ago, they're getting a very small premium over release price. I do feel like a lot of the heat has gone out of the market. People perhaps are getting weary of lining the pockets of resellers. You know, I guess we're RAM resellers, but we sell at release price, and the margins are much smaller than what you'd think. They are very small. Certainly, the margin that we made on those sets is much less than the $100 that people are making off of them now. It's much less than that. So no, I feel like some of the money has come out of the market, and that's perhaps because people are getting weary of paying overinflated prices. Right, that's it everyone. Bye for now. Have a great week. Happy collecting. And if you do have any questions about selling things, you're quite welcome to give us a call and talk to me or Catherine, and we'll do our best to clear everything up for you. So, alright, bye for now.